Assalamu alaikum, welcome, and thank you for joining us in Shaded's Ramadan series, where we are going to continue with extracting beautiful lessons from Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. And today is lesson number 11, which says, "With darkness comes light." One of the biggest factors in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam is the fact that he was thrown into the depths of a well by his own brothers. I could only imagine how someone would feel that safety net, that cushion, that love, that protection that a child seeks from their older siblings is now vanished, and they are the ones who cause the harm instead of protecting him. So from a place of youthful trust and in the bond that he expected unconditional love from, Yusuf alayhi salam was caught in a difficult position, wherein there appeared to be no way out. No way out. In a situation like this, it's easy to lose hope. It's easy to lose heart. And even get into a blaming game with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking, why is this happening to me? But Yusuf alayhi salam, he waited patiently, and he was rewarded for it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not take anything that we do in vain. We will see the fruits of all of our actions in this life and in the hereafter. And Yusuf alayhi salam was patient and was rewarded for his patience. And in that same verse where the darkness of the well is described, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends relief to Yusuf alayhi salam in a form of divine inspiration, where he comes to him reassuring him that he will remind them of this deed of theirs while they are unaware. SubhanAllah, imagine the scenario of a young child being thrown in the depths and the darkness of a well, not by anyone, but by their brothers, the ones that they love and seek protection from. And as he's in the depths of this well, an inspiration comes to him saying that they will be reminded one day of their deeds while they are not aware. So, although at the time this revelation did not ease the Yusuf alayhi salam's kind of physical aspect, as we know, him getting this inspiration did not change the affairs of him being in the well and then taking him out of the well. So it didn't fix his physical state, but it reassured his heart. And this is very important for us to understand in our faith, that not always when we're in the midst of a hardship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to extract it right away or take us from darkness to light right away. It is a matter of going through it, but being reassured by our faith and by our knowledge. It is still a form of spiritual relief, which eased the burden on his heart. And as he came to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not unaware of what his brothers did and what he was enduring at that time, and he would show him some kind of light. He was reassuring him with this light. Now, the patience and endurance demonstrated by Yusuf alayhi salam, despite his circumstances, is a clear evidence of the often repeated verse in Surah Al-Inshirah, where we see فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, that indeed with hardship will be ease. Often find ourselves wondering why we are told that ease will come with hardship rather than after it. Sometimes you think that verse says, well, with hardship comes ease. It's fact. It is not a mere that only ease comes after the fact of hardship, but it also comes alongside of it. The reason is simply that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reassured us constantly throughout the Quran that with each difficulty and with each hardship that is faced by us, this is an element of ease and good that will be inevitably following it. So it is by His will that we endure, and it is by His will that we overcome, and it is by His will that we will grow. So we have to look at our experiences, not only to just look at experiences and say why, But the fact is that we go through difficulties, or we even go through eases, to learn from it, to grow from it, to be humbled by it. And we have to ultimately know it is His will. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will that will help us endure, it will help us overcome, and it will help us grow from the experience. In Surah Al-Baqarah, we are reminded that God does not burden any soul with more than it can bear. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not put more on our shoulders than we can handle. So it is wise for us to take comfort in this knowledge. It is out of wisdom that we understand how to utilize this knowledge that we gain through the Quran and through the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and how to go through the twists and turns in life. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows our strengths, and He also knows our weaknesses, and puts us in situations He knows that we can bring a better aspect of ourselves, a means that He has, or a will that He wants to provide us with. And even on the darkest of days, we even seem to be in the deepest depths of the well, of our own wells, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide that which is not even imaginable. Like we understand from the story of Yusuf all the different trials and tribulations that he went through from a very young age, going from one thing to the next. But we have to understand we too are in our own wells, and we have our own hiccups and hardships. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes us through these difficulties, or even allows these difficulties to happen to us, because there is something bigger and better waiting for us. And we need these things to grow and have a better outcome. Now He will bring help, and He will give us the capability and that help from where we can't even imagine it existed. And that's why we should turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fully submitting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, putting our affairs in His hands, and allowing Him to help us in every way, even in ways that we can't even imagine. So just like Yusuf alayhi salam, all of us are at some point or another in our lives have been or are struck in our own well. We have all felt some form of darkness in our life, be it anxiety, be it depression, being it a financial issue or a health issue, or even rocky relationships. The shaitan will try to convince us that there is no way we can get out, because it is among his greatest plots to sell us the delusion that who we used to be, or the things that are brought to us into this well, somehow have a greater value than the ability of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala possesses to bring us out, to bring us back out. We don't want to take these hardships or difficulties that we're going through and stay there. We have to grow from those experiences, not allowing shaitan to keep us dwelling in the past or dwelling on our hardship, that we don't realize that Allah is able to do all things, and Allah has a plan for everyone, and Allah does the best for His servants. So don't be deceived by shaitan, and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not let yourself fall into this delusion. If you truly want to get out of the rut or the well that you're in, then understand that this darkness is a part of the process. It truly is part of the process, and the light that follows will far surpass any you will ever seen from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So have faith, truly have faith, put your faith into action. Have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Exercise beautiful patience and express gratitude for the ability to grow, the ability to learn and grow through these hardships. For the tree that is rooted in gratitude will only bear fruits of positivity. Please stay tuned and follow Shaded for more life lessons from Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. Jazakumullah kul khair. And thank you for your time. And I hope that you have a blessed day.